Graph the linear equation y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. Okay, so remember, whenever we want to graph a line, right, we need to find the ordered pair solutions. Okay, now at least 2 is required, right? We always need at least 2 points to draw a line. But I want to do 3, right? So definitely we want to make sure that all 3 points line up, right? You don't want to make any silly mistakes. Okay. Now here we see that the y is by itself. So in this case, we can just pick values of x. But we also see that the coefficient of x is a fraction, right? We see a 2 down here, right? So in order to avoid having fractions in the final answer, it's probably going to be better, right, to pick values of x, okay, that are multiples of 2. Okay, that way, the denominator will cancel out and we will not be left with any fractions. Okay, so let's just pick values of x here. Now I'm going to pick x equals 0, right? That's always the best value to pick first. Okay, so what does that mean though, right? It means we're going to plug into 0 for x, work everything out, and then get our y value. So y equals negative 1/2 times 0 plus 3. Okay, of course, anything times 0 is just 0, so we actually just get y equals 3. And that is going to be our first ordered pair. Now, once again, because I see the fraction with the denominator of 2 here, okay, I'm just going to pick even values. Okay, so I'm not going to pick like 1 or 3 because then I'm going to end up with fractions, which we can deal with. Okay, but let me just pick something like 4. Okay, so when I plug in the 4 into the equation here, right, I'm going to plug in 4 for x. You notice that in this case, we can reduce this, right? 2 goes into 4 twice, so that's negative 1 times 2, which is negative 2, plus 3, and that just gives us 1. Okay, so this ordered pair is 4, 1. Now let's try x equals, I don't know, something like negative 6. Okay, so when we plug in something like x equals negative 6, right, that means we're going to plug in the negative 6 in for that x, right? So we get negative 1/2 times negative 6 plus 3. Okay, this is just saying this is half of 6, right? Now the negatives do cancel, so this is just equal to 3 plus 3, which does equal 6 here, right? So what does that mean? It means that this third point that we found is negative 6, 6. So, of course, there's other points that we can pick, right? But these are just the 3 that we have picked here. So now let's plot these, right? When x is 0, y is 3. So we always start from the origin. When x is 0, that means we're going to stay put, but we're going to go up 3 units. Okay, so that is that point, right? 0, 3. 4, 1, right? That means we're going to go to the right 4 units and go up 1 unit. And what about this one, negative 6, 6? That means from the origin, we are going to go to the left 6 units. And then because the y value is positive 6, that means we're going to go up 6 units. And as we see here, right, all 3 points do lie on a line. Okay, so I recommend doing 3 points just to make sure that you haven't made any silly mistakes, right? What if, for example, right, what if you did something, but you got something like this? Okay, well, obviously, these points do not line up, right? So I always suggest for finding 3 points, okay, to make sure that you haven't made any mistakes, right? So all these 3 points lie on this line here. Remember, every point on this line has some xy value, right? We can certainly extract the xy value here, but the key point to remember is that every point on this line is a solution, right, to this equation.